Step right up, folks. Easy money. All you have to do is follow the queen. You're probably not gullible enough to lose your hard-earned cash to a con like this, but you might be surprised that a confidence game, not much different, is being run on you right under your nose by a local news publication. This week, Mission Local ran an opinion piece that lured unsuspecting victims in like a fast-handed dealer. Less cops means less crime, and we could prove it. A little misdirection, a little sleight of hand, and boom, that queen just can't be found. It's a data hustle, and it's meant to turn back the progress we've made as a community in improving public safety. Let's break it down. Every data hustle starts with stats, and if you can put them in a graph, you're golden. Here's Mission Local's self-made chart that shows you that as officers go down, crime goes down with it. The yellow line represents property crime, and the green line represents the number of full-duty officers. Simple enough. Take a mental picture of that graph with that in mind. Officers down, crime down. Do you see what I see? Don't answer yet. It certainly looks like officers down, crime down right here. But let's take a closer look. Right away, there's a tiny problem. See, the mission was careful to tell you how many full-duty officers there were, but they held back a small nugget. They did not count any of the officers working overtime in our neighborhoods to keep us safe. Not a single one. And that's a big deal. Given the department's staffing crisis, overtime is critical to our policing plan. Mission Local left out over 480,000 hours of police service in our city. 480,000 hours equates to the work of over 230 police officers. Just for kicks, let's see what happens to the graph if we add 232 police officers. Well, yeah, it appears that would put the number of officers above the crime rate. And if that's true, then officers are up and crime is down, which is kind of a bummer for Mission Local's big story. We know you're not all experts in municipal budgeting, so let's show you real quick how this works. One SFPD officer on the roster, or one full-time equivalent, or FTE, typically works a 10-hour day, and they work 2,080 hours a year. An officer working overtime is a fully trained SFPD officer who typically picks up a 10-hour shift to fill a vacancy or to cover for an absent officer. They can also work a special project, like the crackdown in the Tenderloin or increased presence around Union Square. They do the same job as the officer they're filling in for. When overtime is worked like this, every 2,080 hours worked is equivalent to the work of one officer. When it comes to police services, an hour is an hour. 1 hour of regular time is the same service-wise as an hour of overtime. To summarize, a typical shift is 10 hours of police service. A vacant position provides 0 hours of police service. An overtime officer picking up a shift provides 10 hours of police service. That overtime shift preserves the police services for that neighborhood. So again, every 2,080 hours of overtime invested provides the same hours of police service as an FTE or regular time officer. Now let's put their quote up here. Those are their words, not ours. Now look close. Do you see what I see? That's right. The chart actually shows that when crime spiked its highest, staffing had its steepest fall. Now getting to the fact of the matter, when did crime plummet? Seems to be when the use of overtime to fill vacancies surged. Imagine that. Now they knew you might be skeptical if they only had one chart, so they went ahead and threw 2 more in to prove their point. But they all ignored the use of any overtime officers. Violent crime here? Make the switch? Wow! Once again, police hours surge, crimes fall. Amazing! Now let's look at their chart for arrests. Fix that little error they made here, and presto! Seriously, fascinating. Police hours surge, arrest rate surges. Who would have thought? You might be thinking maybe Mission Local didn't know about the overtime, but they did. They reported on how much it cost, and then they took cheap shots at our officers who were risking their health and their lives to make those arrests and respond to those 911 calls. Besides, all of this came from a public report to the Board of Supervisors. While there's more shenanigans in this piece, we're going to stop here for now and leave you with what Mission Local claimed they wanted their completely misleading graphs to accomplish. Have you found the queen yet? Until next time, stay vigilant and stay safe.